welcome to this video about how to applique a hexagon flower onto a backing fabric. Today I'm going to show you how I applique my hexagon flowers onto backing fabric using some very simple tools. First, you will already need to have made your hexagon flower. Please check out my other videos which will show you how you can do this. Then you need to decide what your backing fabric will be, and that will depend on what you're making. I'm making a hexagon storage basket, so I actually have some foam covered with some cotton fabric, but you could be making a quilt and just appliquing it straight onto just one layer of cotton, or you might be making a pouch, or anything really. It doesn't really matter as long as you have your background fabric prepared and your hexagon ready. First, you will need to position your hexagon where you want it to be. For my piece, I want my hexagon to be right in the middle, and I could use a ruler to measure, but I like to just judge by eye. I like using the Sew Line glue pen to keep my hexagon in place. So all I do is I just add a few dabs of the glue to the back of the hexagon, and then I position it exactly where I want it to be, making sure in this case it is central. Just press it down a bit like that. Now that does hold it in place relatively well, but if you want to make sure it doesn't slip at all, use some applique pins. I like these very short applique pins from Clover because they don't get in your way when you are stitching. I find I just need one or two just to hold it still so it won't slip. And then we're ready to sew. I've threaded a sharp applique needle with some very thin thread, and I'm ready to start. I've put a knot in the end of my thread, and I always begin at the top of my hexagon flower, and I begin in this corner. I bring my needle up and just make sure that I don't pull the thread all the way through because it is quite fine, and then I take an extra stitch there, just catching the backing fabric and the hexagon flower on the spot there, just to keep it secure. The way I do this applique stitch is I put my needle into the backing fabric directly across from where I just brought my thread out in the hexagon flower, and I take a diagonal stitch across, bringing the needle out in the hexagon flower, and I continue to work in this way, making a straight stitch and then a diagonal stitch all the way around the hexagon flower, just catching the edge of it. And if you stitch in this way, your stitches will be barely visible and you'll get a really nice result. So here I am going across, making a straight stitch, going into the backing fabric, bringing my needle out diagonally across from the backing fabric, but in the hexagon. Pull it through like so. So I make a straight stitch here, go into the backing fabric, but come out diagonally, but in the hexagon. Push it through and just keep working around the flower like this. And once you get the hang of this, it's very relaxing and also quite quick to do. It's a nice simple stitch that gives a really nice result. And I just continue like that all the way around the hexagon flower until I get back to where I started, and then I bring the thread through to the back, make a knot, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.